Welcome back to yet another Dev Diary about Stellaris. It's number 78, and we're going to be talking about Robo modding and Robo changes. And yes, I will address the title of this video very shortly. First of all, Robo modding in 1.8, and we will be creating new models of robots. So basically what that means is, similar to how the genetic system works, you'll have the ability of adding traits to robots, basically adding cool abilities to those robots in exchange for engineering points, which is kind of cool. For instance, the example that is being given here is that the cost of one robot upgrade point, you will be able to increase Unity output by 15% by that particular robot, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of different abilities listed. We don't know what they are just yet, but there's a lot of very cool potential here. Apparently everything is completely open to modding as well, so I'm really looking forward to the first person who creates a happiness increasing robot called Fisto, which gives you a 20% chance of swapping your entire population towards the hedonistic trait. Just saying there, modders. Regardless, moving on, these are templates and they're rather cool. Apparently, you will have the ability to also have different types of portraits for those robots. So once again, those weird aliens with their tentacles will no longer look like the Geth from Mass Effect, but it will actually have a portrait that looks similar to what they would actually look like comparatively to their creators, which is rather cool. Again, systems completely open for modding. Apparently, the traits for robotic pops will make them and the synthetic ascended empires a little bit more advanced and stronger. This also goes for any of the ascension perks when it comes to mechanics. There's going to be significant balancing when it comes to this particular ascension perk and also the other ascension perks to balance them out a little bit. So we're going to be hearing a little bit more about that before 1.8 comes out. Speaking of 1.8, I am kind of under the impression that 1.8, as well as its accompanying expansion / story pack, is going to be properly announced at Gamescom in about 5 weeks. This is all speculation, but it kind of makes sense as it's the biggest event in Europe of the year, and you know, having that stuff there kind of makes sense as they have done it in the past as well. Regardless, robot building. Who doesn't love to build some robots? They're expensive. You can build a lot of them. It's kind of cool. Apparently, you can now batch build them. You can use the multiple build robot items on the planet and just basically say, hey, I want this particular robot variant. I want this many on these tiles. Done. You have a lot less clicking going on there, and so repetitive strains, syndrome to your wrists no longer a problem, which is kind of useful. I really hope that they're going to roll out a similar system for buildings as well, as it kind of does make sense. Then again, buildings that are up and running without a pop inside of it do cost additional amount of resources to running. You kind of need to disable that, but that's kind of a feature that is not really wildly advertised. There's also going to be changes in how policy works with AI and robots in general. In the past, we obviously had outlawed servitude and citizen rights when it came to robots. Those are still there. However, there is going to be changes in how they work and what sort of abilities your robots can have. Outlawed is still there, which means that you cannot have any robots that are sentient. So it means that you cannot use any sapient combat computers or research for that. Also, synths can be researched and built, but their sapience will be removed, and then effectively making them slightly better than the usual droids. As a quick note there as well, it looks like Wiz has confirmed that yes, the Spiritualist empires will now be able to use robots as well. However, as if there's a faction in power that is mostly spiritualist, they will not like you for it. You'll probably have a influence bump there. Swiftly moving on, servitude. Servitude is allowed, but basically you have robot slaves, so their free will is restricted. Synths can be researched and built, but they have a slight penalty to energy and research production as a result of these restrictions. And they can also not join faction, which makes total sense. And then finally, citizen rights, which is basically like normal people. Oh no, This is so cute. He thinks he is people. But the thing is that a lot of these traits that are attached to robots through the mechanical templating, some of these do no longer work with citizen rights. For instance, the domestic protocols, which was happened before, which increases happiness for owner pops, will lose their effect and can no longer be added to new templates in case of citizen rights. So a little bit more flexibility there when it comes to building new robots. Drill bots, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Let's take a look at what else we have here in terms of other things. Manual disassembly, which was removed, I think, in 1.5 or 1.4. It is back. So basically, once outlawing an AI, basically you no longer purge the pops, so you can basically manually disassemble them if you want to. Apparently this is going to be a pretty big deal for the contingency and maybe any of the follow-up stuff, which is kind of weird, so we will see whether or not that is the case. But regardless, robot pops, they're coming. I love robots, man. They are so cool. I wanted to see more of them, and the day I can just chop my left arm off and put a perfectly good Adam Jensen arm there with like a spinny arm attachment, I am so in. Let's hope that the whole, you know, cellular rejection thing is not a problem there, because I definitely did not ask for that. Anyway, yeah, that's all for this week regarding robot pops. Next week, apparently, don't tell anybody, but apparently we're going to be talking about naked corvettes and how to improve those, as well as combat balance and ship components. An exciting time. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like, and you know, if you're new to here, feel free to check out a couple of videos and, you know, make a balanced decision on whether or not you want to subscribe or not. And the dislike button, as always, is right there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves and the robots too.